Hi, folks. This is Rick Doc Walker, the DOC.
This is John Kime, and you're listening to the Mess Hall with Rally Captain and Tailgate Ted.
What's going on, Rally? Happy Victory Monday, man.
Oh, my brother. It surely is a Victory Monday, and I was just so happy that we pulled one out. The new ownership, it's a new day, Victory Monday. Let's get it.
Man, you and me both. But before we get to the win, want to ask everyone out there that is listening to the show right now, do Rally and I a favor. Hit subscribe, or if you're on Spotify, if you're on Apple Podcasts, whatever you're using, leave us a review. It helps the show. It boosts our algorithms. We know you guys are listening because I know, Rally, you just told me a couple minutes ago that you had some people walking up to you while you were walking through the lots. Dude, I was at the Friday night rally down on Franklin Park in DC. So many fans walking up and saying, what's up? And saying, love the show. So it's awesome to get the feedback in person. Y'all going to help our numbers a little bit by leaving some feedback online as well, because it helps sponsors know that, hey, these guys are making moves. Let me sign up. Big ups to Mike from Don't Sleep Energy. Definitely got me through that tailgate because I was starting to drag through the middle of it until you got there. But
yeah, man. it was rough, bro. Don't get me wrong. There was excitement all throughout the air as I was walking. But, man, I needed that pick-me-up, and that gave me that extra boost, especially with that hot raincoat that I had on.
I don't know how you weren't melting, man.
I was sweating up a storm, and thank goodness for Don't Sleep that gave me that extra oomph that I needed, because I think I lost like 5 pounds, man, with my rain jacket on.
I don't doubt it. And that's not from him carrying that chain. Y'all, I know we can't wear the chain, but let me tell you, I've touched it before. It ain't heavy. So Rally's sweating was from that jacket he was wearing. And the wife actually asked me during the game, where's Rally? I don't see him in the end zone. It's like, honey, we got to get your eyes checked because you can't miss that damn thing right there.
So many people have said that. They said, dude, do you know that you're a legend? And I was like, legend? Nah, just a happy fan. That's all. Just an overexcited fan. That's what I am, man. And for everybody that likes to put the different superlatives on it, I appreciate it, but I'm no different than anybody else, man. I just am a huge fan. That's it.
I hear you, man. And all the people that were there at that rally Friday night, I wish you could have been there. The just energy and the vibe was unreal. Uber dropped me off at 5 o'clock. There were thousands of people there, and this thing started at 5 o'clock. I mean, just walking through the park. You had Vernon Davis there. You had Dexter Manley there. You had London Fletcher. You had, what was it? Smoot. You had Tana. You had just so many Washington legends there. You had F.A. Obata. You had Jeremy Reeves. You had John Bates, Cole Turner. I mean, so many people there. On top of that, Josh Harris gets on stage and starts cursing up a storm, saying we're going to kick the Cardinals' ass. I mean,
really?
It was, man, it was just epic. I've heard Josh speak more times in the past 2 months than Dan did his entire 20 plus years owning this team. Right.
That's incredible.
I got to dap up Mark Ines, who's one of the other investors of the team, talked to him for a little bit, gave him a little bit of hug, told him thank you for rescuing us and getting us out of purgatory. I mean, it was just unreal. And then DC Vibes, Go-Go Band, oh, they had it rocking, man. This is something the team needs to do. And Doc Walker and Smoot got on stage. And you know Doc and Smoot. I mean, they're just everybody hyped up.
Man, I wish I could have been there, dude. I had to work.
Doc on his radio show the next day. I tried to get him to go smoke a cigar with me after at Shelley's back room because we were already on 14th Street and Shelley's is right around the corner. But Doc was saying we need to do this every year, but next year, let's make this so big that we take over the mall. Screw Franklin Park. Let's take over the mall and head down there and do it right. And after what we saw at FedEx, it's possible.
Oh, yeah. I can believe it, man. I mean, we have a rejuvenated fan base, and I did videos with Walking the Concourse. I'm not sure if you've seen them or not, but and I said, don't anyone tell me anything else bad about the Commanders. Don't tell me about the name. Don't tell me about the stadium. Tell me about the fans that were there. And that's what I want to hear from here on out. The fans. All that other stuff, it is what it is. It'll eventually be fixed. But what came back was the fans, and that's what I was so happy about.
I'm right there with you, man. And I don't get a chance to walk around the lots like you do. One day maybe I will. I'll bring my old cooler scooter back and actually just go around and have someone else cook. But I don't get a chance to kind of get the energy and the vibe. I mean, what was it? I mean, to me, Sunday was a celebration. But you're walking around, man. How was it?
Everyone was giving hugs, dap, just saying how happy they were. And so normally when I come in, I can look over the hill because I ride with Rodney and we park in the red zone lot. So normally when I come in, or when we come in rather, there's like a little hill. I can look over that hill and say, okay, this is where I expect cars to be. There was no mistaking it when I got into the lot. As soon as I got into the lot, cars were already back toward the hill. And I said, holy jeez, if this is what the red zone lot is like, I can't wait to make my way through orange, green, platinum. And man, normally where I do a video, there's no one ever parked there. I'm isolated. I can just set my phone up against the pole and I can just do my little, 2-minute video or whatever have you and call it a day. Couldn't do it, bro. Couldn't do it. My pole was taken. So
what time did you get there? And it was already this packed. Just for those that don't know.
9:30.
That's crazy. And the red zone lot opens up at 8 on a 1 o'clock kick. And it was already that busy.
Yep. So I said, oh, if this is what it's gonna be like, then I can't wait. I was a little ticked at Mother Nature, but hey, you can't mess around with Mother Nature. Mother Nature is gonna give you what she gives you. So I was just happy the fact that to be a part of it. Little rain never hurt anybody. That just meant that I can wait till next Saturday to take a shower.
The wife had ponchos. Like my brother and his wife came out and they all had rain jackets, everything else. It starts pouring. This ain't nothing. We'll be fine. This is football weather. On top of that, it's still September and it's hot as hell outside. So I don't wear jackets. I'm not covering up my jersey for anything. I don't care. I'm already planning the trip to New York for the Jets game for Christmas Eve. And I'm just going to, look like a kid that put on 15 sweaters with my jersey over top. That's fine because you're not covering up the burgundy and gold, in my opinion. But man, it was the vibe in the lot where we were. So we had our DJ back. Big ups to DJ Mark. It was great to see him out there. This was the most crew members that I've had out there since maybe the playoff game when Kirk brought us to get up against the Packers and ended up pooping the bed. Yeah. But we had 400 people come through. I mean, the food, everything. It was just the vibe, man. We ended up popping some bottles of champagne, doing a social toast, just celebrating the fact that Jackass was gone and that we got our team back. And that was the vibe throughout the entire parking lot that I just felt we shut down early. So I got a chance to kind of walk through, just seeing everybody smiling, man. Just the toxicity was gone.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Now, I got to tell you, when you guys have a toast or something like that, give me a time so that I can make my way for the toast so that we can toast, brother, because we still haven't toasted yet. I mean, we've done some things together, but we haven't toasted. So we gotta get a toast in. So just let me know or just save me something. That way, when I do make my trek through the parking lot and I get to you, that way I can get that toast in with you, man.
I was salty, man. So I do all my tailgate prep on Friday and Saturday. I went to 3 liquor stores in the Costco downtown DC trying to find a bottle of Dom Perignon. I don't care. It's $200 a bottle. Don't give a damn. Snyder's gone. I'm dropping the loot.
You popping it. That's right.
Couldn't find it. Couldn't find it anywhere. Which, in hindsight, I'm still kind of, I'm fine with it. So we just bought more bottles of the regular stuff to have people, drink some. So we had some Moet instead. But I'll let you know, Mark Ein hit me up, gave me his info, and then messaged back on Insta said, sorry, I couldn't make it by the tailgate. I'm hoping to catch you guys for, what was it, the Bills game coming up.
Okay.
So
All right.
fingers crossed, I'll find out what time he's coming through, and maybe the rally captain can make an appearance. And question though,
Yes,
I know
sir.
Mark can hold the flag, but as part owner, can he wear the chain?
Yes.
Okay. I
Yes.
wasn't sure. So a player and an owner can wear the chain, and Julie Donaldson. That's it.
That's it.
All right.
That's it. And let me tell you, it breaks my heart to tell a parent no, that a child can't wear it. But after I explain it to them, they say, okay, we get it. But I say, but here's a consolation prize. You can hold the end of the flag. That helps.
So you got to have just little baby chains in your pocket to hand out to kids, man.
Oh my gosh,
You're
bro, that
like
would weigh me
Santa
down.
Rally.
That weighed me down so much, man. I'm already weighed down with my go bag and everything else. But maybe I'll think about it, and maybe I might have bring two chains. So it can be a baby chain, but I'm wearing both of them though. So, and I can just let somebody wear it for a picture, and then I'll take it back off of them, and then we'll keep it moving. So that's an idea.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, it's a work in progress, much like our offense. But I didn't get a chance
Okay.
to walk around the stadium. How was the stadium? You got on the field for the first game? How'd that happen?
Well, shout out to the Commanders for allowing me to have a field pass. I was told that I could get one, and so I got it, and so I made my little appearance on the field. Thank goodness. Now I'm hoping that you'll see me in Denver on the field as well, but who knows what'll happen? But that's how it worked out. So shout out to the Commanders for allowing me to do that.
So I finally got to meet Sabah, right? She
Oh, okay. Sabah, yeah, I hear a
she
lot about her.
messaged me on and no, she messaged me on Twitter, regardless. She said, hey, I'm going to try and find you. I'll be up there in the morning. How many people tell me that? I hear it all the time. I never get a chance to see it. My man, Easy Street. We're on Fox 5 on Friday morning. I'm at Fox from like 8 o'clock in the morning till 1 in the afternoon,
Yeah.
cooking, talking, just shooting the S with him. He's like, oh, I'm going to stop by on Sunday. I'll see you there. He never rolled up. You know what I mean?
You're
It's
like,
just,
okay,
yeah. It's
all
like
right.
some people like, yeah, all right, I believe you. I believe whatever. And they don't post. But Sabah rolls through at 9 o'clock in the morning with her dog in a Redskins outfit. And I'm not talking about like her boy. I'm talking about like her rough dog walking up in a Commander's outfit on a leash that she
Wait.
brought.
You said Redskins outfit before. So was it Commander's outfit or was it a Redskin outfit?
Redskins outfit. You're forcing the habit. I don't say the old name as much, but actually
I got
wearing
you.
a legit Redskins outfit.
Well,
And I'm worried.
do you have said picture of this Redskin outfit?
That I don't, but I'm sure I can find it on her Twitter. It
Okay.
was insane, but she had a service dog patch on the dog, brings the dog to the tailgate. I'm worried this dog is going to eat some raw food lying on the ground because I dropped some stuff on the floor that I didn't serve to anybody. It just fell. And then she had field passes. I feel like everyone had field passes for this game, looking at pictures, except for me, which I wouldn't have used anyway, so it's fine. But if commanders are listening, and I know you are, I'll still take them. But she got the dog on the field. And she went down there and she got the dog in the game. So
In the game.
with that
All right.
service dog little vest going through there, and she went to Legends Plaza. She got to meet Dexter and
Love it.
Riggins and everyone
Love
else.
it.
And I mean, it was a party, like I said, and no one really gave a damn about anything. You could pretty much get away with anything other than, the fight that happened in the end zone towards the middle of that game. But yeah.
Oh, okay. Fight in the end zone. I thought you were going to talk about the fight. Wait, are you speaking of the fight with the Baltimore fan, or are you talking about the players fight? Okay.
No, the
All right.
Baltimore fan. And I saw that video, man. That was disgusting. I couldn't believe it. I don't know what was said. I don't know what happened, but there ain't a place for that.
No. And I don't understand it either. I mean, don't get me wrong, but see, I looked at the guy, and I'm big on body language.
Oh yeah.
The guy was drunk off his gourd. I could tell that he was drunk. And I mean, he just looked like he was. So that just goes to show you guys, drink responsibly. Handle your liquor, or have a buddy who can tell you when to say when or something. I mean, that's what it boils. We're adults, and I know we don't like to hear the word no, but sometimes we got to listen to our friends that tell us, "Hey, man, I got to cut you off."
Yeah,
unfortunately.
definitely. It was sad to see. I mean, I don't want to harp on it, but there's no place in any stadium for that. Reminded me of being in Chicago when someone just yelling racial slurs at me the entire time. I just
Yeah.
ignored them. And to me, if you're that Redskins, Commanders fan, whatever, that's getting into it, I don't know what he said to you, but the team does have a number that you can text, and trust me, they come running. If you text that number, if you get a
Oh yeah.
problem in the stands or in the parking lot or anything, I'm
Mm-hmm.
not talking about being a narc or a snitch. I'm just talking about let's be responsible about this, because those people got kicked out of the game, and odds are they're not going to be allowed back ever. And
No.
y'all are missing out because, I mean, you got a chance to walk around the stadium. It's just, it feels unreal right now. And,
Mm-hmm.
I like to give my pregame pep talks when we're out in the parking lot. And you've been to a Capitals game, right?
Mm-hmm.
So for those of our listeners that haven't, it is 20 plus thousand all wearing red. That's what the Capitals colors are. We're rocking the red in the stadium.
Rocking the red. Yep.
They turn the lights off inside. They got the hype videos going on. But everybody, for the most part, in those stands is all cheering for the same team.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't had that at FedEx since I can't even remember, man. It wasn't 2012 because we still had other teams coming in 2012. So
Infiltrating. Yeah.
I'd almost say it was a playoff game I went to before I had season tickets, where it was the Redskins versus the Lions back in the day. I maybe back in 1999. It's been that long since it just felt like it was all us in the
Yeah.
stands.
So I think they said the official count was like 65,000, give or take a couple hundred.
Yeah.
I have to say that there were probably, out of that 65,000 Commanders fans, there was probably about, from my gauge, I'd say 1,000 Arizona fans, if that. That's
Yeah.
what I'll say. So we did a great job, and something that I'll push up the chain is, to get the crowd even more hyped, we need to start a stat of how many false starts that the other team had, because of the fans, because of us, we gave Arizona a couple false starts. So we can appreciate that, and that just makes the fans even more hype. I forgot what stadium I was at, but they had like an ongoing tally of how many false starts they had, and then when they put that caption up on the board, that made people just get even louder.
It's not a
So
bad idea. I love
yeah,
that idea.
so we got to push up the chain that, hey, we got to get a stat, first, or even if you made up a number 10, I don't know, just so it didn't have to be one, but
Yeah.
false start attributed to you guys. Let's get louder. Boom. People see that and they want to get louder.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, I had fans coming up to me after the game saying, thanks for keeping the energy the entire time. At one point, I guess they put me on the Jumbotron. I didn't realize, because I couldn't sit down. I'm just
Oh.
standing up the entire time. And I'm just sitting there raising my hands up, trying to get people to yell. I'm like, don't yell just when they're about to hike the ball. Yell where they're in the huddle. Make it so they can't hear the quarterback in the huddle telling you the play that entire time. Y'all got lungs. Use them.
It's gonna happen.
Hell,
It's gonna happen.
people are going to have to learn. We're not there yet. It's baby steps, and I get it. And the paid attendance was 64,693.
Okay.
And there are times in the past when they put up a number and we all looked around up in the stands because people bought tickets and they just didn't show up. But this time it was full, man. And
oh yeah,
you know how you can do a hashtag HTTC during the game, and then they'll put your picture on the Jumbotron? So I took a picture with a Cardinals fan, right? Said, hey, do you mind if I take a picture with you? Dude was cool, because I'm thinking someone was cheering when Howell got sacked. I'm like, no, what the hell's going on here? Turned back, it was a guy with a Larry Fitzgerald jersey on. Dude was cool. He wasn't starting in trouble or anything else.
Yeah.
So I took a picture with him, a little selfie, and I put on there, I found Waldo. So the Commanders put that on the Jumbotron, and then everyone got a quick laugh out of that thing because there wasn't many of them out there. I mean, I think
No,
1,000 is being
like I
generous.
said, about 1,000, man. It had to be about 1,000 from what I saw. It was amazing, and I loved it. I loved it. We got to keep that same energy up against the Bills.
We definitely do. Definitely do. Because this is actually what Ron Rivera said about the crowd.
What stood out to you about the crowd?
Oh, I love the enthusiasm, the excitement. You know, I heard their disappointment as well. Okay, and I respect that, obviously, because we have to do things better.
So were you surprised when the Boo Birds came out?
No. And what I told everybody in my section is when you have a sellout crowd. See, before you really didn't hear the Boo Birds that much. You heard them, but you got to be able to, with a sellout crowd, you got to be able to take the good and the bad. And when the team wasn't doing as well as they should have, hey, people are in their feelings. So it's par for the course. You just shake it off. And the only thing that I was upset about is another thing that we've got to get those guys to do is quiet offense at work. I understand we're excited, we're hyped, but these are baby steps, as we said. We've got to get people who aren't used to coming back to football games the knowledge to say, "Hey, offense is at work. Quiet, quiet." That's the only other thing that I was. That's the only other thing that I was upset with. I'm not necessarily upset, but just just something that needs to happen.
But it's something we've been harping about for years. And it's something so simple as just putting a graphic up there. And I don't get why they won't do it. And there are times, and I've gotten on them for this, like, don't do a hype video. And I understand this stuff is pre-planned and they're just doing this based on timeouts, but don't do a hype video when your team is about to be on offense. You are getting the crowd excited, and your quarterback is coming back from a timeout, standing on the field, and he cannot hear the play call coming in because your fans are yelling and screaming. And there are a lot of new fans. It is documented how many tens of thousands of new fans or season ticket holders that are coming back. You are doing your offense a disservice. And yes, we won the game, but man, there were some ups and downs in that game. And this is actually what Ron had to say about the good and the bad with Hal.
And what were some of the things that jumped out to you, I guess, both good and bad? Was there a play or two that just say, like, you really like this and, like, this is you got to fix?
There were some really good things when he went through some of his progressions. You could see him getting to his second and third read and getting the ball out in a timely fashion. Then there are other times where you saw him get off of one read maybe a little too quick. If he hesitated for a second, he might have seen it and then would have probably gone there. But again, he's learning. He's learning the tempo of how to go through progressions. Which he's good at, and it's just, the process now lining up and doing it.
It was a fun game to be at, but a frustrating game to watch as a fan, because we gave our predictions last episode. You go back and listen to them. I didn't think we were going to win by the spread, but at a certain point, I'm standing up and my butthole's getting tighter because I'm thinking, we just ain't gonna win this thing, man.
The old sphincter.
Oh yeah. I mean, how are you feeling watching that in the end zone?
I said, no, guys, come on. Don't do this to us. Don't deflate the fan base. You've got to come back and do this. And I think that was the general consensus amongst everybody else because, dude, you just don't know, man. Everybody was like, oh, I mean, the shoulders went down, the head started to doggone go down, and then it's just like WWE when something good happens and everybody starts feeling it again, and now we're at the top and we're about to come off the top rope. So it was a good thing, man.
That reminds me of watching old WWE quarter on, unless I turn the volume up on my headphones because it got so loud in there. And one of our episodes, we talked about the energy and the vibe. Just those players feed off of our energy. It is not just an analogy. It is the truth. Revo was talking about it. Cosme was talking about it Friday night when we were out at that rally. I mean, just the energy of the fans there. There's a reason why the Seahawks have the 12th man. It's
Yeah.
legit. And we have not had a 12th man here in DC in decades. And we finally got a taste of that 12th man power and what it can do. And man, we helped take over that game. It wasn't just the players. You talk about those false starts. I mean, those 3 straight defensive stops in the third quarter where we just stuffed them. I mean, the Cardinals at that point, we were just playing with our food, and we need to stop doing it and just put them to bed. And EB got a little conservative and just ran the ball a bunch. And yeah, I don't blame him. It was just frustrating to see because the offense was a little disappointing. It definitely wasn't the offense that I was hoping we were going to see. And we know during preseason, they showed nothing. But damn, for that to be the offense coming out, I get Bieniemy's a first-time play caller, but man, that's a work in progress.
Well, first-time play caller for the Commanders, but not for
He
the
didn't
other
call
team.
plays. He didn't call plays. No, it was Andy Reid calling the plays. He would give Reid plays to call and chime in on. But this is EB's true actual first job doing it.
Okay, his show. Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Well, the good thing about it is this. Now we see why he has been the way that he's been through training camp and many camps. He's been so intense because he knows what needs to be done. And did you feel that the guys still had enough energy?
I felt that the offense was sluggish in the first half. And I think part of that's because of the plays he was calling. I'm looking at a stat here by our friends at Ref the District. EB called 33 pass plays versus 9 runs in the first half. I mean, talk about lopsided. I mean, 42 plays, right, total in the first half, and 33 of them are passes. So being a former failed offensive lineman in high school, pass blocking sucks ass because you're just a punching bag. You're just getting people running at you and bull rushing you. And you heard me, failed offensive lineman. Yeah, I got you. But he didn't move the pocket. I was surprised because we talked about that during training camp. EB will make sure that the weaknesses of this offensive line won't be exposed. Well, he exposed them. He didn't move the pocket. He didn't get Sam out of the pocket, really. Sam was scrambling for his life at times. And there were 6 sacks. And not all those sacks were on Sam. Or sorry, on the offensive line. I'd say about half of them were on Sam.
Yeah. And also the thing is, it goes back to what I told you. I saw that it felt like the stunts is what did it to them. I told you those guys can handle one-on-ones. I saw they can handle one-on-ones. Now, granted, practice isn't the game, so maybe guys are going a little bit different. But when we were up in Baltimore, I told you guys, I saw the one-on-one drills, and there was no one really getting by. Of course, you may have had somebody get by once or twice, but for the most part, it wasn't happening. The issue that I see is, and what I believe I saw was the stunts, where what's my man's name? Chris
side.
What is it?
Which side? Like what part of the line?
The left side.
Left side.
So
you got Sadiq Charles. Sadiq Charles, left guard.
Sadiq Charles. I saw where he was blocking man up, and all of a sudden something told him to go help Leno, but he forgot the guy who was on the other side, and the guy ran right by him, and I think that's one of the sacks that Sam took. So I'm not sure what made him think that maybe the guard or the center had him. I don't know, but he just left that guy and went to help Leno, and Leno didn't need any help. Leno was handling his business, and that guy came right up that gap, and that's the issue that I saw, the stunt aspect of it. One-on-one, mano a mano, these guys can handle their business. They can handle their business. It's the stunt aspect that I feel they need to communicate on.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's a copycat league, and everyone has seen how Sam handles pressure. He makes mistakes at that point, and you're going to have teams do the exact same thing to us until we can prove we can stop it. And this is actually what Ron had to say about the performance of the offensive line.
What do you think of the O-line today?
I think they had their moments. And again, when we evaluate the film, we'll get an opportunity to have a better feel for how things went.
So they evaluated the film. He had a chance to take a look at it. He just had his press conference. And for those wondering, it's Monday, September 11th at 4:40. Well, Ron looked at the film, and this is what he had to say afterwards.
With the sacks in general, I'm sure it's a mix of Sam doing what we just said and the offensive line, but I guess what did you kind of see on those plays that you hope to correct going forward?
Well, pretty much what you talked about. You know, there are a couple things that for us, you know, we missed a protection. You know, we thought something was going to happen, and because of that, we came off a switch too soon. And then we actually had one where we had a little foot traffic, and one of our guys got tripped up. And then a couple times we probably should have gotten rid of the ball. And so it's a combination of things. It's all things that are correctable, all things that we should get better with, and we expect to get better with.
And that's going back to what you were saying, where Charles thought he needed to help someone else, switched too soon, and someone else came through. And at one point, he actually tripped over, I want to say it was Brian Robinson's legs.
Mm-hmm.
So that led to a sack. And then on the strip sack fumble, Tony Wiley, not Tony Wiley.
I was about to say,
Tony
wait a
Wiley.
minute.
Yeah, I miss Tony. I miss Tony, man.
That man,
If we ever
Tony.
needed a field pass, Tony would hook it up with a field pass, man.
Yeah, Tony was good like that. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And I actually hit Tony up for a field pass because the team last year wasn't calling us back to see if he could help us out in Chicago. But that's a story I'll tell you off air one of these days. But I
Come
mean,
on, team, help us out. We're just trying to promote you guys.
I'll tell you that one offline too. We'll pause that for an in-person pod one of these days too.
All right.
But Andrew, he got burned on that strip sack fumble, and you know Sam's trying to make a play, and Wiley just got burned on the inside. And going back and watching that Netflix special, and maybe it's just the footage that they cut up, because I didn't watch Chiefs games last year. I don't want to see how good the Chiefs are and how bad we were and everything else, but Wiley has a problem, it seems, with speed rushers. And that's what we face here in the NFC East. There's a lot of speed rushers, and it's going to be interesting. Are they going to have to give him some help, give him some protection on that outside? Maybe have a maybe have a tight end chip before he releases, and where B-Rob would stay in and block, and then he realized that, okay, it's time for me to go, or there's kind of that internal clock. But dude, you're spot on, man. It concerns me that what we've been saying this entire time is this offensive line is a liability, and they have not addressed it. Cosme actually got taken out of the game because he was in concussion protocol, and then Chris Paul had to come in, and Paul stood his ground. Cosme came back, but this is something I've said to a fan in the stands. If Wiley becomes just a liability, at what point do we move Chris Paul in at right guard and move Cosme back out to right tackle? Because I am concerned that Wiley came here for a reason, because he could help his old coach and he got paid, but no one else really wanted to pick his old ass up.
Well, we've seen that in the previous years. It hasn't gone our way. So maybe this may be the last year of that. We'll see.
Yeah, I think it's going to be the last year for a lot of things. And this is actually what Ron had to say about the win itself.
Playing off what you just said about the team, obviously you got the win, you want to get the win, but you sound disappointed about how things maybe unfolded.
I am, because we had opportunities. I mean, our guys, you know, they've been working hard, they've been practicing hard, they've been getting better, and for us to make those kind of mistakes, that was disappointing. And I know we are all disappointed, but we're all thrilled. Believe me, I'm happy as hell we won. I really am. But we got to play better. We really do, because again, we've worked hard, we've done things the right way, but details we got to be better with those.
And that to me explains my feeling today. I was happy, but also disappointed. But wins are so hard to come by in the NFL, and I will never look down on a W.
You better not.
Man,
especially not a burgundy and gold. You better not look down on the W.
You got fans that are acting that way, though. You got fans that are acting like we're the Eagles or we're the Chiefs. And even though the Chiefs lost this past week, that, you know, we should have kicked the Cardinals' ass. And I don't know where this bravado comes from, from some of the fan base sometimes, because it's not like maybe it's them playing Madden and the Commanders go 17-0 when they play Madden, but being realistic, that's not how it goes around here.
No, man. What basically, so let me tell you what this reminds me of. This reminds me of 2013, 2014-ish, when we went to Seattle. And I'm telling you, I got to the hotel and turned the television on, and the media there basically did what the media here did. And they said, the Redskins at the time have nothing to play for. They're on like their fifth lineman who just can't do anything. All that did was make them feel as though they should have blown the doors off of us. In return, all you heard all week was, "Oh, the Arizona Cardinals, they're without Kyler Murray. They're decimated. They don't really have," and it made our fans play into the narrative that we should just blow the doors off of them. But yet we forgot, or we forget, that Arizona gets paid too. They get paid to play as well. And
Amen.
what did we hear? Ah, it's Josh Dobbs. Come on, that guy came from the XFL. The fact is, he didn't put up bad numbers. He didn't. So all that psyche plays into effect, and sometimes the players are human too. Fans are human. We're human. So it's gonna be that easy. We should just knock them out the box. I was telling people at work, don't do that to yourself, because if it does happen, then we're gonna see it, and it almost came to fruition. So what I say is, I don't care how bad a team is limping in to play a game. They still are professionals. They still get paid. You can't underestimate them, and that's just how it is.
No, you definitely can't. And you got a new head coach, a new system, a new scheme that we have no tape on.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what? Next week with Denver, and we'll preview this later on, we got a new head coach and a new system and Russell Wilson to account for, who is a lot better than Dobbs. And the Broncos lost to the Raiders. And I'm sure Sean Payton doesn't want to go down 0-2 because he knows the stats and what happens when you go down 0-2. So we got a tough task ahead of us, but we won. And really, that's all that matters.
Yep.
This team is a work in progress. This franchise is a work in progress. Everything is being rebuilt right now, and we're taking it one game at a time. So for all you fans out there that are still kind of on the fence and not sure what's going on, I hope you guys don't take the up and downs as a sign that you shouldn't come back yet. But frankly, it's your money. You do with it what you will. But just know that it's going to be a long season.
Mm-hmm.
They're professionals too, just like Raleigh said. And we've got a tough schedule, but I have faith that Bieniemy is going to go over that tape with a fine-tooth comb with his players and make sure that he addresses all the mistakes. And this was a tweet that John Kine put out there. Washington was fortunate to win today, losing the turnover battle. Since 2020, Washington is 5-20 when having a negative turnover margin for a game. We had 3 turnovers. They had what?
They had 2 turnovers, Ted. I think they had 2, bro. I could be wrong.
No,
one
you're
for
probably
sure.
right.
One for sure, but I think two maybe.
We lost a turnover battle at that point. Yeah, they had 2. We had 3. We won time of possession. No, that's fine. But from a third down efficiency perspective, I mean, it was a pretty evenly matched team. And you're going to hear people say, it's the Cardinals. Vegas picked them to win 4 games this year. Don't let that frustrate you. It's week 1. And this, to me, in essence, is preseason game 4 that just counts.
You took the words right out of my mouth, and I was just about to say that. We're basically, what we're forgetting is, if this was the old schedule, which it isn't, we got that, but technically this will be week 4. And it showed throughout the league. And for anybody that says Sam is this, Sam is that, hey, look, he had more passing yards than Deshaun Watson. He had more passing yards than my man for the Bengals, Burrows. He had more pass. So, everyone's trying to find themselves right now. And I'm glad that we found ourselves with a W, and we can build upon it, because that's what it's all about. building upon what your last performance was. So I'm going to give them a pass. I am. I'm not going to come down on them so hard. I would have, of course, I would have loved to see them get Peter rolled, the doggone Arizona Cardinals, like that Baltimore fan got Peter rolled, but it didn't happen. We came away with a win. Let's build on it. Let's come back, get stronger, faster, better for Detroit. I'm sorry, Denver. Excuse me. They both start with a D. Denver.
No, I'm right there with you. And I think they will. And this is actually Rivera talking about how they need to be better.
What stands out to you that needs to be better?
Well, we got to protect football first of all, you know, and some of our decision making and again, just, you know, I'm going to get a chance to really take a look at the tape and just see the things that we need to focus on and get corrected.
This is maybe one of the first press conferences Ron didn't say something stupid. And, you know, maybe he's learning too. And we're getting there.
Work in progress.
Hey,
Work in progress, man.
It definitely is, man. But Saturday, when you heard, actually, when did you hear the news that Chase wasn't playing?
I think it was Saturday. Yeah, I think it was Saturday.
What did you think when that came out?
See, I look at things a little differently, Ted. When I heard it, I was like, dang, okay. If he's not good to go, he's not good to go. I didn't look at it as, oh, it's a contract year for him, or he shouldn't be doing this, he should be doing that. I didn't look at that. I genuinely said, I want the best for that young man. And if the doctor said that he shouldn't be a go, then I'm going to leave it there. I'm not going to say, oh, he's a bust. I'm not going to do that, because we all have issues and ailments that we're working on behind the scenes. And if a lot of people saw your doctor's report, they'd be like, damn, how the heck are you walking around? So, and this guy's playing football, and I'm going to lean on what the doctor said. And if he's not right, then I don't want him out there. And I've always told you, you mean, and I hate to sound this way, but you mean nothing to me not playing.
I got you.
It's the next man up. So don't take that the wrong way. You mean, you know, and so I can't count you. I can't count you. So that doesn't mean that I don't have feelings for you, but we're talking about 11 men on defense, and you're not there. So the next person up has to step up. And if you can't go, you can't go, because let's face it, once that young man stops playing football, he's going to have a life outside of it. And I look at Ryan Kerrigan. Bless your heart, Kerrigan. Have you seen how that man walks?
Yeah, I mean, he probably needs some knee surgeries. You know, he's probably got some lot going on.
So now we're talking about your neck. We're talking about your spine. We're talking about your vertebrae. I don't want somebody trying to go if they truly can't go. Now, if he's sagging, that's something different. But if truly the doctor said we recommend you not to do it, then I'm going to lean on that, and I'm going to give him a pass. As much as I would love to see him out there, I have to give him a pass. What say you?
So I guess I'm a little different, because I didn't want Chase to play. To me, he's a liability right now because he hasn't practiced. He hasn't been there, and he's not participating. So I don't want freelance Chase out there. And realistically, Chase hasn't been good since 2020, right? We haven't seen a good Chase Young out there. So somewhat to your sentiment is, you know, you're not out there, then at that point, I'm not going to worry about you. But when he has been out there, he has not performed. He has not done well. There's a fan behind me, you know, just known for a long time. He's basically calls Chase the highest paid cheerleader in the NFL. Because right now, that's what he looks like. And it's nice that he's standing right there beside the official holding the line marker, and he's cheering his players on. But they're saying it's the stinger. Okay. It's just very odd for a stinger to take this long, usually. But who knows exactly what it is?
It's more than a stinger. And I think
I'm saying.
I understand that, but anytime you get doctors saying your spine, you know, your neck, your vertebrae, that's different. So I think it started off.
I have not heard vertebrae once.
I heard his neck area, back of the neck area. So what I'm saying is that effect, your back of your neck is all of that.
Yeah.
It's all attached. So if one of those is jacked up, then more than likely the others are going to be jacked up as with it. So that's all I'm saying. So
And
maybe
I'm right there with you.
so I don't want to say vertebrae. So but if it's your spine area and your neck area, I think that you don't play with that. You
I
just don't
have
play with
3
it.
fractured vertebrae, right? I've got some slip discs. I broke my back years ago in a horrible accident, and I had to wear a brace around me. And I used to work at a gym and do stuff there. And they had to transition me to just sitting at the front desk because I couldn't turn my neck side to side. You know, it's no joke. I get that. But then you have clips of Chase. And granted, this is the player talking. So I take everything the player says about their own injury with a grain of salt. But this is on Thursday talking about, oh, I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm going to Zoom with the doctor and I'm good to go. So number one, he's going to have a Zoom, a telemedicine call with his doctor to tell him that he's ready to go or not. I mean, that right there is a joke. And then all
I
of a
didn't know
sudden,
about that.
yeah, that's what he talked about during the press conference, that he was going to have what you and I have with our doctors, a telehealth call, not actually seeing this guy face to face. I mean, freaking Josh Harris sends his private jet to go pick up Sonny Jurgensen and Billy Kilmer in Florida. They couldn't get a doctor in a limo to come to, freaking Commander Park. But that's beside the point. There's a history of Chase taking more time mentally to get ready from last year, coming back from that ACL. And I don't know if that's what this is or not. Ben Standing reported on The Athletic that we might not see him till week 3 against the Bills. And then if that's the case, and so be it. But your don't sleep energy guy that you picked was James Smith-Williams, and he did a damn good job stepping up. We've got other guys on this defense that are stepping up. And to me, that's where, if he's there, great. But honestly, man, other than buying that damn Chase Young jersey as I did on a whim last year because it was the only black one of my size, I don't care if he's there or not. And maybe that's the wrong way to think about it, but I don't give a damn, because to me, he hasn't done anything for this team in 3 years.
It goes back to what we said: you get no love in the tub. So that's just how it is. And the best ability is availability. And all I can say is, honestly, hey man, if you're not right, don't come back out for the pressure of the fans, because you got to live life after football. But also understand that when you don't come back, you're making it a little bit easier for your name to be replaced. So it's that ebb and flow of things, So we as fans want one thing, but you got to live your life, and maybe you don't want to be here anymore. I don't
That's
know.
possible.
I don't know, but and if that's the case, then que sera, sera. But let's just make it happen with the players that we have on the field until he comes back. And I told you, don't sleep energy drink player was the man who stepped up.
Yeah, James Smith-Williams definitely got in there. He had a quarterback hit. He had 3 tackles. But you know who's going to earn that paycheck instead of Chase? And he gets to wear my rally chain this week. Montez Sweat, man.
Yeah.
And Tez balled out. He had 5 tackles, 4 solo, 1.5 sacks, 2 tackles for loss, man. I mean, he's going to get paid. If he keeps doing this and putting this up, he is going to get paid. And hats off to him, man. And he's been right there, so close the past season. He just hasn't been able to finish plays. He finished them this past Sunday.
Well, T.I. has a song, Motivation. So, hey, that man's motivated. He knows what's on the line, and he stepped up when we needed to. And so you gave it to Chase, and I'm sorry, you gave it to Tez, and I'm going to give it to Payne. Because Payne, without that last sack at the end, who knows where we would be.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy that
that was actually Allen. That was actually Allen. My mistake. That was actually Allen.
But Payne still had a heck of a game going in there.
Yes.
He had 2 total tackles, 2 solo, and 1 tackle for loss. I mean, but he was wreaking havoc inside there, taking on double teams. I mean, the defense in general, they did what they were supposed to do. And
Right.
if I get to hand out a second rally chain, and it's our show, so I'm doing it,
Okay.
it's Cam Curl. Cam is balling out, and each game that that young man plays, his dad is just watching the dollar signs add up, man. 'Cause he
Motivation.
almost had a pick. I mean, he's just in there. He led the team in tackles this past week, and you just talk about ball hawk. He's around it constantly, and I hope they do what's right and extend him before they have to worry about competing with other people to actually keep this kid. I mean, you're talking a 7th round pick.
Who's outperformed his contract.
Big time.
He's outperformed his contract. So hey, that's how it is, bro. And every team has a diamond in the rough, and I'm glad that he's our diamond in the rough, man.
He definitely is. I mean, he ain't rough anymore. That thing is sharp. That
Oh
thing is
yeah.
a weapon. And I cannot wait to see what he does, because talk about motivation, man. He is definitely motivated. And he said during training camp and everything else, he's saying all the right things. Remember, some of those listen to the show, he went to practice. He just didn't actually do anything. You know, he's just there being with his boys. And then when he had to do something, he stepped up, and he's saying, you know, he's just trying to play the game. And it's just a matter of time before he's going to get a pick. And you know who else surprised me? 13, man, that young man, Forbes.
Forbes. Yeah. Well, I gotta give a honorable mention rally chain out to Reeves, special teams.
Yeah.
Reeves, oh my gosh, he's playing possessed, man. He's playing possessed, and I love it. So he deserves a chain as well.
There's a reason why his teammates selected him as team captain. And when he was on that stage Friday night, downtown DC, I mean, the fans were showing him some love. Everyone loves him some Revo. It's just, we all knew the defense was going to be the strength of this team.
Yep.
And the offense is definitely going to take some time. Just how long can the defense carry us without breaking down? And it's going to be interesting to see, because there are some weaknesses there. We had a couple of big plays that we gave up, a couple reverses that probably shouldn't have happened, but I've got faith that they're going to step up and do what they need to do. But for you, who needs to hit the weight room and hit the film room some more?
Oh, I gotta say, Jamin Davis, that wheel route. I'm not sure if you saw this. Well, I'm sure you did see it.
Yeah.
The running back came out of the backfield, and Jamin Davis looked at him, and it was kind of like, "Am I supposed to check you, or am I supposed to? Oh, damn, I was supposed to check you." And there the ball goes flying over his head. So, Jamin, brother, you gotta, hopefully your court issues aren't clouding your judgments and everything. But that's your man. You got to check him. So, and that put them in good field position. So right now, and I hate to pick on the young man, but that's the play that I saw.
Yeah, and his court case got moved to a jury trial next March. So during the offseason, and you can say nothing to worry about now. Obviously, he's thinking about different stuff going on. But for me, how many more times can Antonio Gibson fumble that ball?
Yeah.
I don't understand, and Bieniemy's trying to get a grasp of his players, but that young man just seems to cough the ball up at inopportune times, and it just always bites us. I mean, there's never a good time to fumble the ball, but he just always happens to do it when we're in scoring position or deep in our own territory, and next thing you know, it leads to another score for the other team.
Well, I think that now's the time for EB to utilize him the way Gibson said that he was going to utilize him, that he wasn't going to be taking very many snaps like that he was going to be more outside catching passes. So if that's the case, then you may have solidified that slot position, or not slot, but whatever you want to call it, to get the ball in the air with space, open space versus trying to run between the tackles, because I think you got Rodriguez and I think you've got Robinson to do that. And so you may have predicted your own fate, man. I mean, and that's just how it is. It's not a knock against him, but how you play is how you continue to stay on the field. So, you can only do it to yourself. You only did it to yourself.
He's been here. This is a contract year for that young man.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So he's doing nothing but hurting himself and in turn hurting the team with dropping this ball. He's been here since 2020. And hopefully it's something that he can clean up and fix, because you've been at practice. You were at the Ravens practice. They don't hit. He's finally getting hit. And that guy came in and just punched that ball out. And I mean, I don't know, maybe they just take some getting used to from that perspective, but he's not a bruiser. And I think it's going back to EB learning the strengths of his team. He's going to have to realize that, no, on a play like that, you got to give that to Robinson or you got to give that to Rodriguez. That is not an AG type play, because we cannot count on that young man to hold on to that rock.
Yep.
And what was that movie? The Program, where they had the kid walking around with the football throughout college and all around the campus, make sure that he held on to that
Nobody could
thing.
take it. Nobody could take it from him. Even when he was in bed sleeping, I mean, he had to hold on to that ball.
Just make sure that AG's got that thing strapped around him like 24/7 walking around the park, man, because he can't do that. And it was frustrating to see, but you know what? We survived.
Yep,
and that's really, we're still standing. That's all that matters. We got a game coming up against the Broncos. I know you got a fun party coming up out there. We're getting to those details coming up later this week.
Can't wait.
It's going to be a good time, man. We're 1-0. Sam Howell is undefeated. The Harris ownership group is undefeated. Let's just keep it going, man.
And we as a fan base right now are undefeated. And I hear the music playing in the background, which lets me know we're coming to an end. But keep in mind, everybody, it was just the first game, and we've got 16 more to get better at. All right. So, hey, that's going to do it for this week's edition of DMV Mess Hall. As Ted said earlier, if you're on different platforms, just leave a little feedback, something, liked it, loved it. Those guys can go to hell. Hopefully you wouldn't say that, but we need that assistance. We really do. It shows that we are actually doing our job. We keep you guys informed. So remember, guys, you rep it hard, you don't rep it at all. That's going to do it for this edition of the DMV Mess Hall with Tailgate Ted and Rally Captain. And we're Sam Howell.